guys, I hope you're doing great today. This would be our lecture number 4 in our DevOps Roadmap. And in this lecture, we are going to install Linux on our personal computer, on our laptop. In our last 3 lectures of our DevOps Roadmap, we have discussed what is DevOps, what are the DevOps tools that we should learn, and what is Linux. I was just going through a post on social media and the person stated that, guys, if you want to learn Kubernetes, you have to master Linux. And that's the key point that I have already told you guys, that we need to learn Linux to get started with our DevOps career. Linux is a must, guys, because all those DevOps tools run on top of Linux. If you know Linux, you can get your hands on DevOps tools quickly because Kubernetes runs on Linux, Docker runs on Linux, Jenkins, CI/CD, and so on. There are many tools that run on Linux, and that's why it is really important to know Linux. So guys, there are different methods to get started with Linux, and I will share all of them in this lecture. So whatever makes you easy, you can get started with it. So the number 1 method would be installing Linux on a VM virtual machine. In this method, you have to install VMware Player that is available for personal use, and then we will download the image of our operating system like Ubuntu, and then we will install our virtual machine on VMware. We will have a fully functional Linux operating system on our computer. The second method is to install VirtualBox on your machine, and then we can install Linux on our VirtualBox. We need to download the image for VirtualBox as well. The third way is to make your laptop dual boot. For instance, if you have Windows and you want to have Ubuntu at the same time, so whenever you will turn on your laptop, you will get 2 options. Either you want to get started with Linux or you want to move with Windows. So when your computer is dual boot, you will have 2 operating systems on your personal computer. So you will have Windows and Ubuntu at the same time. And the fourth method to get started with Linux is to sign up on a cloud platform like AWS, GCP, or Azure, because all these platforms, they provide free tier compute resources for the users. But you would need a credit card to complete the sign up process on these cloud platforms. So if you don't have any credit card or debit card, therefore you cannot get started with these cloud platforms. So as a free solution for students or beginners, I would recommend to install Linux on your VMware Player. You will create a virtual machine of Linux and you can play with it at any time. So let me know in the comments which method is more convenient for you. So there are a couple of steps involved in the installation of a Linux VM on VMware. And no worries, I will break them down one by one. So if you have already installed Linux on your computer, you can skip this lecture. And if you have a computer with Windows installed, you need to follow these steps. So guys, in order to have a fully functional Linux operating system on your Windows machine, you need to follow these 4 steps. First of all, we will download and install VMware Player. Player, which is available for free for personal use. And then we will download the Ubuntu ISO image from Ubuntu official website. You can install the latest version of Ubuntu, which is I think now 24.04 is available. So once you have the ISO image, you can easily install Ubuntu operating system on the VMware Player. The third step is to make sure that virtualization is enabled on your laptop. You will have to go to your BIOS setup and then check the advanced options to confirm if the virtualization is enabled on your computer. And the fourth step would be to install Linux. Alright fellas, our first step is to download the VMware Player. So open your browser and write download VMware Player on their official site and go to products, and here you can see that we have VMware Workstation Player 17. So I'll click on it and try VMware Workstation Player. Click on it, download VMware Workstation Player, but we will install the one that is for personal use. You can see that VMware Workstation Player is an ideal utility for running a single virtual machine on a Windows or Linux PC. So we will install this one, but first we have to download it, and you can see that the free version is available for non-commercial, personal and home use. We also encourage students and non-profit organizations to benefit from this offering. So we will download and install it. You can see that here there are two options: try Workstation 17 Player for Windows and then try Workstation 17 Player for Linux. And if you have a Windows PC, you have to download this version, and for Linux this version. So I have Windows because of you guys, because you're using Windows, and this would be, I'm assuming that this would be your first time on using Linux. So I will download it. Click on download now. You can see the error which is saying that connection timed out, and the download 3.vmware and the download 3.vmware.com host is down. So I have to find some alternate way to download VMware Player. Let's see. Don't worry, I got this error before as well. So there must be a problem with the host because it is not allowing us to download. So we can download from this site as well, because it is also verified, and you can see that it is certified as well. And just click on download now for Windows, and the download will begin automatically in a couple of seconds. Okay, you can see that my download is working now. It is downloaded. Alright guys, our download has been completed and we are ready to install the VMware Player. Click on it, click yes, click next. I accept the terms in the license agreement. Now click next. I will check this box as well. Install Windows Hypervisor Platform automatically. Click next. Enhanced keyboard driver. It is useful. Click next. And these are optional. If you want to check for updates on startup, check this box. And if you want to join the VMware Customer Experience Improvement Program, you can check this box. Click next. I will uncheck this. Click next. Create shortcuts for desktop and start menu. Click next and install. Our player is being installed on our Windows machine. This will take a couple of moments. Alright guys, our VMware Workstation 17 Player setup is installed. Click finish, and now we will need to reboot our system. So now you can see that our VMware Workstation 17 Player is installed. Now we will move towards installing our Linux operating system on a VM. And now we need to download a Ubuntu ISO image from the Ubuntu official site. You just need to write download Ubuntu for VMware. Now you can see that here's the official site with downloads. You can see there are different versions and flavors available, like desktop, server, cloud, core, and it must be confusing for you to install which operating system. So we will just install You can see that it says that a laptop or personal computer with at least 25 GB of storage space. And so Ubuntu desktop, click on products, Ubuntu desktop, download Ubuntu desktop. But I will install the minimal version of Ubuntu, which is Ubuntu 24.04, but I am going to install Ubuntu 22.04. But it's your choice to install this version, because this, due to disk space issues on my laptop, I'm going to install the minimal version. So you can click on this one, and you can see that the download process has been started. And go to server. You can see it says alternative downloads. I'm not going to install Ubuntu 24.04. It is latest, but I will install Ubuntu 22.04. I've been using that. So go to the standard downloads option, but it's up to you. It is not different that 22 or 24, there is no huge difference, but I'm just saving a little bit of disk space on my laptop. Get Ubuntu server, alternate download, other images and mirrors. Now here you can see there are a lot of mirrors for Ubuntu. So in alternate downloads, go to past releases and other flavors. I can find Ubuntu 22.04. You can see, and I will just install the server install image, which will be a minimum installation of Ubuntu. You can see it is this one. I have installed this server. Click on this one and it will be downloaded. You can see it is 2 GB of size, and it will be downloaded, and we will install this Ubuntu ISO image. Alright guys, you can see that my 22.04 live server has been downloaded. I am ready to install Linux virtual machine on my VMware Player. So open the VMware Player, here it is, and create a new virtual machine. Click on it, and installer disk image file, where your file has been downloaded. I will browse, and you can see it is in downloads, VMware Player, and here the ISO image is located. So I will give the path of that ISO image file. Click next, and virtual machine name, let me name it to DevOps Molvi, and next. I will give the size of 20 GB because of low disk space issues on my laptop. So I will 20 GB would be enough. You can use 20 GB as well. So I will store it on a single file. Virtual disk will be a single file. Click next, and check this box to power on this virtual machine after creation. Click finish. Make sure you have virtualization enabled on your laptop. Okay, the installation of virtual machine has been started. It says that try or install Ubuntu server with the HWE kernel or test memory. So we will install Ubuntu server, this one. Click on this option, because we are not going to try, we are actually going to install Ubuntu on our VMware. You can see that the installation process has been started. It will take a little bit time. is still, the installation is still in progress. So guys, this is the way you can download the ISO image of any distribution like Ubuntu. I am downloading this one. You can download Fedora, Debian, Kali Linux. You have the choice to install and play with any distribution. The VMware images or the ISO images of those distributions are available on their official websites. Just like we downloaded the ISO image of Ubuntu, similarly you can download the ISO images for Debian, Fedora, Kali Linux, Cloud Linux, Arch Linux, and so on. So this one, so it is asking me about the language. I will select English. Now it is saying that if I want to update my system, which I would not here, so I would continue without updating. You won't get this if you are downloading Ubuntu 20.24.04. Now it is saying that choose the type of installation. So I will install Ubuntu server. The first option, which is already checked, you can see here it is checked. So I will install Ubuntu server and click done. Each, because it is an archived mirror, so that's why it is being tested. You can see the mirror name is Jamie here. It will take a little bit of time to test. Alright guys, alright, now it is saying that should I use an entire disk? Yes, we will use the entire disk of 20 GB, and it will create the partitions automatically. Click on done. You can see that the partitions has been created automatically. We will have a single partition of dev SDA, and I will click on done. So now we will continue and our installation will begin here. There are a couple of requirements like your name. My name would be here. I would say DevOps Molvi. Server name DevOpsMolvi.com, and username would be the same. You can have your choice, and password, make sure the password is strong. Okay, so we have given the required and credentials and click on continue. Yes, we will definitely need Open SSH server to connect, and I have checked this. Rest of the things would be default, and I will continue with the installation. Here it is saying that do you want to install these packages right now? I would not, because we will install these packages when we need them. So I will skip this step and click on done. Our installation is now in progress. It will take a little bit time. You can see that it is saying that this system is being installed, so it will install a couple of dependencies and files and file system. Alright guys, our operating system has been installed and our Ubuntu machine is ready to use. I will click the VMware Player. You will see the DevOps Molvi machine name. It will take a couple of moments to boot up. You can see that now machine is booting. So there are just random server logs here. This is the console of the VM actually. So all the services will be starting up. All right, we are now ready to log in to our machine. You remember that my username was DevOps Molvi.com. So I will log in with these credentials. So these are just random server logs or console logs. And now I will give the username, which was DevOps Molvi, and the password. Make sure you remember the password. I am logged in my machine. You can see that it is Ubuntu 22.04. Here I can confirm the release installed. This command will be used to check which OS version or release has been installed on the system. So it is Ubuntu 22.04. You can see that. And if you will install Ubuntu 24.04, you will see here 22.04 version of the OS. So that's how we install any operating system on our VMware Player. So you just need to change the operating system. Rest of the method, rest of the practice is almost the same. Now we will continue with our basic Linux commands in the next lecture. And if you want to power off your machine, just power off from here, or shut down the guest or power off. I will shut it down and the machine will be turned off. You can see that it is now turning off, so that our resources are should not be used at all time. So machine has been turned off. Let me turn it on again to make sure if everything is good. So that's how you turn off and on your VM. So there can be, depending on the compute resources of your laptop or machine, there can be one or more VMware machines on a single computer. You have multiple Linux distributions at the same time on your operating system. If you have disk space, if you have RAM and CPU on your laptop, you can have multiple distributions, multiple flavors of Ubuntu or Linux, like Kali Linux or Cloud Linux at the same time. You can see that my machine is booting again. So that boot process takes 2 or 3 minutes. All right, it's again on the login screen. Password here. Now I am in the root user. With sudo command, we will discuss what is sudo command. So that's how you install any operating system on VMware Player. Alright guys, that's it for today's lecture, in which you saw that we installed our Ubuntu 22.04 Linux distribution using VMware Player 17. So a quick review of this lecture: we downloaded the VMware Player free version that is available for personal use, and then we downloaded the ISO image of Ubuntu, and then we installed our operating system on VMware Player. So that's the free and quickest possible way to have Linux on your computer. So I would strongly recommend that you should install Linux on your computer, any other distribution, and try out Debian or Kali Linux or Arch Linux using the VMware Player. So I will see you in the next video with Linux file system. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share my channel. See you in the next video. Bye bye.